Hey friends, it's your pal Tom here. I'm here to read you a selection from my new book, Intentionally Blank. Comes out tomorrow, March 13th, 2019. It's Intentionally Blank Eve. We're going to read a little story called Exit Interview here, based loosely off of an in real life job your buddy had as a youth. So without further ado, Exit Interview. It didn't work out for me. Others would thrive in the position down the road or possibly later that afternoon. It would depend upon what people's schedules looked like. It was my plum cooler job, given to me by a Mr. Don Kucharski. His superiors had also empowered him with the ability to take it away, apparently. It was that very investment in human capital that drew me to the Fill and Run Corporation of North America and its local affiliates in the first place. The news was broken to me in a room, and of the boiler variety. I was offered a milk crate on which to sit, but given that I do my best thinking on my feet, I politely declined. I did accept a spot away from the hot water tank, however, so as not to come off like an ingrate or sustain first to second degree burns. "This isn't working out for you," said Mr. Don Kucharski. He flipped through a ladies' home journal as he spoke. He stopped every so often to tilt the magazine 90 degrees and make noises. It seemed Mr. Don Kucharski had a sweet tooth. "Is this about the recording equipment? Because that's for a book." I told him about my crime thriller, a story about a big city detective who takes a job as a stock boy so he can eavesdrop on a suspected arms dealer. I explained to Mr. Don Kucharski that, early in his investigation, the detective learns that the perp stops off at the same convenience store every night to buy Go-Gurt and, using his heightened sense of empathy, deduces that he must vent to other customers about his operations after a long day of work. I needed samples of real dialogue, hence all the tape recorders and adhesives. It's about the horseshit job you do, every minute of every day. I was informed that gallons of milk and tubs of cottage cheese were not finding their way into the little white racks with the regularity demanded by Fill and Run's clientele. Complaints had been filed, middle management verbally abused, and in one sad case, brained with a lacrosse stick. The situation posed unique challenges to Mr. Don Kucharski, who insisted that he needed this bullshit like he needed a hole in the head. I'm still trying to find the right work-play balance. Pack your shit and get the fuck out. There was nothing to collect. As my exit interview was conducted on my day off, I inquired into the reimbursement process for my bus fare, as well as Mr. Don Kucharski's home address. I owed him a copy of Behind the Sliding Door, I explained, with the caveat that I had a self-imposed deadline of spring of 2015 for the completion of my first draft. If I can't jerk off to it, I don't read it. Mr. Don Kucharski had other appointments. My final check would arrive within 5 to 10 business days, and my dismissal classified as a workforce reduction with the state, so as not to thwart my attempts to collect unemployment. I could keep my shirt. I extended my right hand to communicate a lack of hard feelings on my part. Mr. Don Kucharski had already left the past behind, as well as the room. I could hear him around the corner by the fountain drinks, his signature high volume, clearing of phlegm giving away his position. There were goals to be achieved. 20-ounce foam cups in need of restocking. I still had my badge, raised and rectangular in the front pocket of my corduroys. Mr. Don Kucharski's failure to demand its return spoke volumes about trust, his belief in art. While I would need to look elsewhere for a day job, my craft would always have a home. I made a beeline for the cooler access door, eager to resume my research. Get it?